I have just received a package from FedEx. Let's open it up, see what we got inside. We have another envelope inside the FedEx envelope. Ho ho ho! Look at that monster. When I was at Photokina in 2016 and I heard that SanDisk were showing off a prototype of a 1TB SD card, I thought, that's absolutely insane. Why would anybody need that much space in their camera? Well, it's not 2016 anymore, it's almost 2020. That card's out now, but so's this, the SanDisk Extreme Pro microSD card. And this one I can definitely see a use for. I'm going to do some speed tests with it first, but then I'm going to walk you through why I think every photographer should have one of these cards. The advertised read speed on the current generation of SanDisk Extreme Pro SD cards is 170 megabytes per second, but in order to get those speeds you need to use one of SanDisk's own readers, so I bought one. I ended up this one, which has a very short lead and a Type-C USB plug on the end. This will probably end up becoming my new travel card reader, purely because of its size and I won't lose the cables. As this is a 170 meg a second card and I don't have any of SanDisk's regular sized SD cards at this speed, I bought one of those as well. This is the 128 gig, 170 meg a second SanDisk Extreme Pro, and we're going to run the test on this one as well. For the test, I'm using AJA System Test on my Asus ZenBook Pro. It's a handy application that allows you to test different storage devices based on the type of footage you're shooting. But it also shows the raw transfer rate too, which is what we're concerned with here. So I've got the 1TB microSD card sitting inside its adapter in the card reader, plugged into the Type-C port on my laptop. I'm going to run the speed test 5 times so we can try and come up with a good average read and write speed for the card. That was a little bit disappointing, but also not too terrible. It turns out that this card reader might not actually support the 170 megabyte per second cards. I did a quick bit of Googling and some searching around on YouTube, and it seems that other people also cannot get this reader to go past about 95 megabytes per second with UHS-I cards. Other people have been able to get these past 95 megabyte per second, but with a different card reader. But the read and write speeds were pretty consistent throughout with the microSD card, clocking in at 82 to 83 megabytes per second write speed and 92 to 93 megabytes per second read speed. So let's try it now with the 170 megabyte per second regular sized SD card and see if we have the same problem. Yep, so same again, read speeds cap out at 92, 93 megabytes per second with write speeds of 81 to 83. So yeah, I don't think this supports them at all. I know this will go a lot faster because I just tested it with a UHS-II card and you can see the speed difference for yourself. But even at around 93 megabytes per second, it's consistent and it's going to be good enough for what we're going to do. But how is this micro SD card valuable for photographers and filmmakers? Well, that's where the smartphone I mentioned earlier comes in handy. I meant to shoot a lot of this next bit out on location because for me, a card like this has only one real purpose and that is for backup. But it's Scotland, it's winter, it's freezing cold, and it gets dark by 4 PM. So we decided we were just going to back up, not film it, and get back to somewhere warm. So I'm going to go over it now. So my main phone that I back up my images to is the Asus Zenfone 5. It has a dual SIM tray inside it, and one of those SIM slots can be taken up by a micro SD card in case you want some extra storage, which we do. As is pretty much standard on Android phones these days, the Zenfone 5 has a Type-C socket on the bottom of it, which means we can plug our card reader into it and read any of the SD cards we put into it. There are many third-party file manager apps out there, but one is included with most Android phones that lets you see how much data is being used on each of your storage devices, copy and move files around, delete them, free up space, and so on. So I generally tend to stick with the one that comes supplied with the operating system. Transferring the files over is as easy as browsing to the source folder on the card and telling it to copy them to the internal microSD, and then you just need to wait until it's done. Having such a large microSD card inside of your phone to back up to means that at the end of a wedding, event, location shoot, whatever else you've been shooting, at the end of the day you can just copy all of that footage from your cards into your phone. If anything happens to your cameras or your cards on the way home, then you've still got a copy of everything right here. If you have a dual card slot camera, then you're making your backups as you go, so do you still need to do this? Well, if you leave all your gear in the car on the way home while you stop somewhere for a bite to eat, and your car gets stolen, then you've lost both copies. Chances are you've still got your phone in your pocket. Now, the point of this isn't to be able to just plug in your phone into your computer when you get home and transfer everything over. The transfer speeds on USB from your phone aren't as fast as they will be using a memory card reader on your computer. The point of this is to have a backup just in case anything happens to your other copies that you might have on 1 or 2 memory cards. If you're shooting multiple cameras as well, or you're dealing with second shooters, third shooters, and you want to get all of their footage, you can transfer all that to your phone too, so you don't need to try and figure out afterwards whose card is whose. Not every phone, and not even every Android phone, has an internal microSD card slot. But if you're running photography as a business, chances are you have 2 phones, one for your personal use and one for your work use. So why not make one of them an Android phone that has an SD card slot? Having them on your phone also means that you can start working on those social media images before you even get home. The 1TB SanDisk Extreme Pro microSD card isn't available everywhere just yet. It is shown on the Amazon UK website for around £520, but it's not showing up on Amazon US or B&H. Keep an eye out though, because it should be coming soon. For now, if you need high capacity, you can always go with the slightly slower SanDisk Extreme. As we're only going to be using it for backup in your phones, the slightly slower speed isn't going to make that much of a difference. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below, and if you can recommend a card reader that actually works with 170 megasecond cards and has a Type-C plug on the end, also let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Oh,